Good morning, Mission Church. Happy Mother's Day. And as most of you will probably be celebrating in a completely different way this year. So let's start by opening in prayer. Father God, we thank you for mothers. We thank you for the blessing that they are to us. We thank you for our biological mothers, for our church family mothers, for the mothers that influence us every single day. We ask you to bless this day and bless these words that our church is about to hear. And we just thank you that wherever we are and however we gather together, that you are with us. In Jesus' name, amen. So, yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. Your computer is not messing around. I am standing here in a unicorn onesie. Yes, see, little unicorn onesie. Don't worry, there is a point to it. It's not because I've just gotten out of bed. It's not because I haven't got changed for church yet. There is actually a reason for it. So don't worry. Let's talk about mums and COVID-19. At the moment, mums are going through something that they probably have never gone through before. They are at home, and so instead of them being just mum and going to work, cleaning, cooking, helping the kids with homework, they're now taking on this whole brand new area of teaching and assisting their children in trying to keep up with their education while they're at home. For some mums, this is nothing unusual, especially if we have homeschooling mums or homeschooling families. For other mums, this is completely something that they never thought that they would do. It's also different depending on the household that you're in. One mum and one child just has one set of curriculum that they need to think about. If you add another child to the mix and there's a big age difference, you've got high school curriculum and you've got primary school curriculum. You add more children than that, you can have all sorts of ages and curriculums that you need to be doing all at the same time. It's a very difficult and stressful time for mums right now. And to not be able to have people over to support them, or to be able to be face to face with people to support them, it can be very trying and very stressful, and it can be wearing on them more than they actually realise. So back to the unicorn onesie. Unicorn onesie, very nice. It represents how some mums are appearing to the world at the moment. They're appearing that they're all together in one. They're kind of a little fluffy, got everything covered, calm, white, peaceful, and it represents not how they're feeling on the inside. It covers how they're actually going. It gives a false sense to the world of how things are, and it gives a false sense to those around them of how things are as well. What we need to be doing is be getting underneath the layer that we see on the surface. We need to be trying to build a relationship with the mums that we know so that we can have a deeper relationship with them, so that we can be beside them and know what they're going through, and so they feel like that they don't have to wear the onesie in front of us, that they don't have to hide what's going on. Have you ever gone somewhere, maybe even to church, and you walk in and somebody says, "Hi, how are you? So pleased to see you." And you go, "Hi, yeah, I'm not feeling so well." And they go, "Good, good, lovely to see you." And off they go. Been there, had that done to me, put the onesie back on, definitely not going to share again with the people who really don't have time or can't see that there's a deeper conversation that needs to happen there. We need to build relationships. Relationships are so important. And even if we weren't all isolated at the moment, they're still so important. It's like building our relationship with Christ. We need to spend time. We need to be patient. We need to care for them. We need to legitimately care for them, not just this false "hi" and moving on to the next thing that you have to do, but legitimately wanting to see how they are, wanting to know what's going on with them. And even if you can't fix what's going on or help them what's going on or have any advice for them in what is happening in their life, just being there to listen to them, being there to hear what they have to say so that they know that someone is actually hearing them is so important. Ephesians 4:32 says, "Be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you." There's a pretty good chance that underneath the onesie, underneath the soft fur and the facade that they put up, there are prickles. Some will even have great big spines like an angry porcupine. And when you try to build a relationship with someone, when you try to do that, chances are you might get stabbed. Chances are you might come across one of those prickles and they might poke you with it so hard that it hurts. And it makes you not want to go back. That's what it does. An angry porcupine, when it puts its quills up, it's to scare the predator away. It's to make sure that they don't come back. But we have to be willing to go back. We have to be willing to make sure that those prickles or those spines or those quills that they're putting up as their defense are not keeping us away, are not preventing us from building a relationship with them. A defense system is there for a reason. They're defensive for a reason. They're protecting themselves for a reason. That reason probably has nothing to do with you. It probably has to do with something that goes way back into the past. And they might not even be aware of it. But they still have those spines there. They still have them there and they still poke up and they still will stick to people when they least expect it. I was told recently that when I started coming to the church, I was a very angry, nasty person. I won't use their exact terminology because we can't beep it out, it's fine. And that they were glad that I wasn't that person anymore. And obviously, this person had been poked by my spines. This person had spoken to me and talked to me and my quills had come up and obviously they had been poked. But what they did was that they persisted. They continued to talk to me and hear me, and if I poked them again and again and again, they came back. And eventually, they felt comfortable enough with me to tell me that I was a big porcupine and I poked them with my quills. We don't do it on purpose. We do it as a defense mechanism. We do it because there are any number of reasons why we do it. To protect ourselves, to look after ourselves, to hide what we're really feeling because we feel inadequate, because we feel like we're always complaining about something. Any number of reasons. And I'm not only talking about the young mums here. I'm not only talking about the mums with young kids. I'm talking about all mums. Because being a mum doesn't stop once they turn 18. Sometimes it gets even harder. And as you watch your adult child going through things, moving away from God, doing things, struggling with their life, struggling with their own children, sometimes their prickles even hit their own mum. Their quills sometimes stab their own mum. So they need relationships built with them as well. They need to know that as a mum, other people hear them. Other people see them. Other people know that they're there. That they continue to be mum, even though their child may be on the other side of the country. Even though their child may be just down the road, but they can't see them at the moment. Jeremiah 33:3. Call to me and I will answer you, and show you great and mighty things which you do not know. Not only should we be calling out to God, we should be calling out to each other. Sometimes when someone is struggling, calling out to God is the hardest thing. and if they know that they're being heard by someone in their family, and I'm not talking just blood, I'm not talking just biological, their church family, their friends family, their group family, whichever, their small group family, then that can help them to call out to God and to trust in the fact that He hears them as well when they feel so far away. Right now, there are mums out there that are isolated, that are at home with their children and their families, and they have a brain that is just overthinking. Am I good enough? Am I doing it right? Is my child falling behind? Is my child not keeping up? Am I doing it right? What's going on? How will I do this? When will this end? Am I being too tough? Am I not being tough enough? What am I doing? And what is X in a quadratic equation that needs to be simplified down to find what X is? If anybody knows what X is, please let me know, because I have no idea whatsoever. See, normally there'd be like people laughing or snickering or understanding. I can't see any of that right now, so that's okay. I'll just pretend that you're there and the cat that's sitting there looking at me is laughing. That's fine. It's alright. Isaiah 41:10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." All of this will eventually come to an end. Mother's Day will go back to normal. School will go back to normal. We'll be with our families. We'll be able to see them whenever we want, go out whenever we want. But right now, we need a little persistence. We need to make sure that we are that listening ear, that virtual cup of tea or coffee, Milo, peppermint tea, whichever, glass of water. We need to make sure that even when we think we have nothing to offer, that we all do. We have two ears and one mouth for a reason. Don't think that you don't have anything to offer those around you. Don't think that because you're not involved in that particular group, that you don't have anything to offer the person in that group. Don't think that because you're a young mum that you can't offer something to an older mum. Don't think that because you're an older mum you can't talk to a younger mum. Just that small gesture, just that small thing could open a door that you never knew existed. Could open a door to a relationship that could be amazing. Could open the door to a relationship that God has just set in place for you. A small check-in, a small little note saying, "Hi, I was thinking about you," a text message, a phone call, a card in the mail. Something small could end up being so very big for someone around you. It could open a door that you never knew existed. And it could not only be a huge thing for that other mum, but it could be a huge thing for you as well. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for mums. We thank you for family. We thank you that regardless of what is going on, that you are here and you are taking care of everything. Help us to be brave. Help us to look in on those people that we wouldn't normally look in on. Help us to ask the question. Help us to fight the urge to run away when they hit us with their spines. And those that know that they have spines, help us to keep the spines down. Help us to trim the spines down. Help us to get rid of the spines so that we can build relationships with those around us. Help us to use our spines to help others. Help us to use our experiences and what we've been through and what we know to be a blessing to other people, to other mums, that are around us, in our church, in our community, in our neighbourhood. We thank you for our time together, Lord. We thank you that as we go to fellowship together, that you are with us. We thank you that you're taking care of us and that this whole situation is under your control. And most of all, Lord, we just thank you for mums. We thank you for the blessing that they are. We thank you for the resilience that they show, for the love that they show, and for the fact that they are always there with us. In your mighty name, amen.
Oh my child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part.